Hello and welcome everybody to the loser bracket final or consolation final, however you want to call it, for the Thailand Championship. It's going to be Mineski versus First Departure in a best of one series to find out who's going to get to the grand finals to face Team Malaysia. So, lot of money on the line, but thankfully, actually, both of those teams already have some kind of money to get away from this since they are in the top 3 anyway. But in any case, we're HeflaTV, the English coverage for you. I'm Coucher and I'm joined by Mike Lores, who's just pulling out an almost all-nighter. Man, how you doing?
I'm still going pretty strong. It's not actually as late as yesterday or the day before yet. Hopefully these games don't last 3 hours because I think I'm just gonna have to bail halfway if they do, but I'm pretty sure it's not gonna happen. Both these two teams putting up decent performances, but honestly hard to compare their performances when you see how well Team Malaysia are performing. Regardless, they're going to be going up against one another, and Batrider Bane going to be the pickups for First Departure first. Kind of an weird opening for First Departure.
It most certainly is. Spain, definitely a hero you don't see all that often. Up against Razor can be decent-ish, I guess, although usually against Razor you want to have as few single target spell as possible just to not invoke the unstable current. But do they have something massive set up with this? And well, I would have thought the Mirana as well, but Mineski, they ban it out.
Yeah, that would have been pretty much the go-to for with this Bane opening, and really there's no reason, I would say, to go for Bane if you're First Departure. Like, Batrider already is one of, if not the best, shutdowns in the game with the lasso. Bane has a little bit more range with his grip, but that's about it. It's not like they're going up against a Lifestealer or anything like that. Like, if Mineski first picked that hero, I would say Bane Batrider, that's the best way you could possibly go, but clearly that's not the case, and Bane is pure setup hero, and First Departure, they're going to have to pick up someone to partner up with that, someone who could benefit from
Lina!
having...
Lina!
Yeah,
Lina!
it's the dream is real for Lina, but I don't know.
Oh, it's... I'm just hoping to see that hero, but... I mean, something like a Leshak could come out as well. Or... Come on, give us maybe Slardar. I don't know, really. It's not like Slardar needs the setup all that bad. They're going for a Centaur now, though, so... Is this a Centaur tri-lane or just Batrider mid?
Don't really know. With the Bane, it could just be Centaur Batrider going into their lanes as normal, and then Bane and then whoever else First Departure are going to pick up as support. Just going to do some really heavy nomad roaming kind of stuff as Bane for setup into a Firefly for Batrider or into Hoofstomp is going to be good no matter what. So you could pretty much get any laning you want and just have Bane +1 pure roam.
We'll see what they want to do with this or how they want to go about it. But Mineski picking up a silencer of all the heroes, especially as the third pick at the moment. I guess First Departure, they are rather spell dependent at the moment. Definitely don't want to go with just right-clicking people to death, at least not with the 3 heroes they have so far. But this silencer, could they have gone for it later on? And is the silencer that scary even to pick up here?
Well, I mean, it's pretty good against Bane. Against Batrider, it's really hard to get the global silence off before your hero is actually lassoed and starting to drag away. If you do get it off, it's fantastic, but if you don't, then, well, it's not going to be doing that much. Silencer is pretty much just shutting down the Bane 100%, as everyone else from First Departure can feasibly get their spells off before the Silencer has a chance to pull that trigger. So it's going to be a very delicate situation for Mineski. Fortunately for them, this is LAN, so lag should not be an issue unless it's a computer issue, and well, I mean, you can't really do anything about that. Silencer is going to get some okay value. It's going to restrict quite a few First Departure picks, but I don't really think they're going to be bothered by it that much.
I would think so as well, that it's kind of meh for them, I think. But we'll see what they want to go for. Usually, especially in 6.82, you definitely want to have some kind of late game insurance as well, just a heavy hitter into the late game. So far, Medusa could be one of those. It's still unbanned. And what else do we actually have? A Luna, like we saw in the last game, Team Malaysia running it. To some pretty great success as well, to be honest. So what do you think First Departure are gonna just hit for now?
Well, if they're going to go for a late game hero, they've been favoring the Medusa on Miracle, and that's a good way to go. With this Magnus pick, the Medusa is a little bit less likely, as unless you want to run a Centaur support, which is okay with Bane, it's going to be most likely Mag Centaur Batriders as the 3 cores First Departure. I don't really like this that much. I feel like one of these heroes has to be, or 2 of these heroes has to be played support. They need another core who could actually do some late game damage. Otherwise, they're kind of digging their own grave by putting themselves on a clock.
I think it's either gonna be a Miracle, PA, or Sven coming out. I guess they could go for something like a Spectre as well still. Just get the Empower to get that little bit of cleave damage to follow up. Faceless Void banned out by first departure themselves, though as Tidehunter was the pick for Mineski. So for Tidehunter, it's most likely going to be Razor in the mid lane, Tidehunter off lane, plus Silencer Vengeful being support. Silencer, actually both of them can be in the core role as well. But the Global Silence is... Wow. Wow. I would say Global Silence is going to play a huge part, but a Shadow Fiend pick.
Yeah, I think First Departure have enough core heroes. I think this is about as many core heroes as you could want. Maybe we're going to be seeing Batrider pure jungle. That'll be a way to ensure him to get some farm, and then you have Mag, Centaur, maybe Centaur Bane dual lane, and Mag soloing lane with Shadow Fiend mid. Either way, First Departure, this is a very easily punishable lineup for First Departure. They are going to have a very, very slow early game. And Mineski with the Silencer, Vengeful Spirit, now a Tidehunter being picked up. They can really realistically get into First Departure before they actually have these core items. Blinks for First Departure are going to be so necessary in this game, because without them, they can't really start fights well.
They're definitely going to need the Blinks. All three of them, really. Maybe even one on Shadow Fiend if they want to go for that mobility. Although I think Shadow Fiend should build just for the hard carry route, get the damaging items going. Spectre will be the pick for Mineski. So that's going to be their hard carry to kind of counter First Departure. And Mineski's lineup definitely isn't as greedy, but First Departure, I really want to see how they're going to lane this. I've seen Team Malaysia, when they were still Titan, run a just raw support Centaur by net 2 or 3 times. So maybe they're going for that route, but man, support Centaur, I guess Bane will be enough setup with the Nightmare for him to actually get the roaming going with the Hoofstone to follow, but I'm just not too sure about it.
Yeah, the Spectre pick is decent enough for Mineski. I think I would rather like to see the Spectre being someone, a core that could punish this a little bit more. Someone who could fight earlier on. Like, they ran a Slark earlier, and that would actually be okay with what First Departure had. It definitely punishable for them, but yeah, First Departure, their lanes are going to make or break this game. If they have a decent laning phase, they're going to be doing so well with such a greedy lineup, but again, it's very easily punished. Let's see how the lanes are going to shape up. We do have Aluka Kai going up towards the top lane as the Batrider. KS is going to be supporting as the Bane. Miracle is going to be handling the mid lane Shadow Fiend. Lubby is going to be on the Centaur Warrunner. That leaves Dafa on the Mag. So it is just going to be a support Centaur after all.
We'll see how well it works out. Like you said, at least they have the setup for the Hoofstomp when they're roaming around with the Nightmare. Of course, Nightmare, really not cost efficient, 165 mana to begin with. But to introduce Mineski as well, Fu will be playing the offlane Tidehunter for them, leaving JJ on the Razor with Owa 5593 on the Vengeful, Johnny the stand-in on the Spectre, and the last one will be Jesse Vash on the support Silencer. How aggressive do you think the Vengeful and Silencer are going to go for overall? Of course, they might face an aggressive tri-lane, so they might not have the time to roam around, but if they should be up against a solo offlane, how much do you think they're going to just roam?
I think it's going to be important for Mineski to roam as much as they possibly can. And this is kind of why I don't like the Silencer pick for Mineski. Again, it wasn't really prompted by anything, and roaming with Silencer is actually not that good. He doesn't have any crowd control. His damage is all right, but that's pretty much all it is. So Mineski, they would love to roam around. I don't really know if they can do so effectively. So this Silencer might be just restricting Mineski's aggressive capabilities by quite a large margin.
Well, we shall see how good they're gonna be about it and if they're gonna have the time to roam around. But speaking of roaming, Lobby and KS, they've already smoked up. This might be an easy kill, of course. Shadow Fiend, he starts, of course, with the Necromastery, so he won't have the Shadow Races to follow up with the burst damage. So KS and Lobby, if they go mid lane, I think they actually might not even be able to kill off the Razor, to be honest. But how it's just counter roaming. Both of the teams want to go mid immediately.
Unfortunately for the Razor, he actually didn't have a great block, and this is going to set up pretty well for Miracle, although not the best. He's going to see them coming from a mile away. He'll be fine, but here comes KS and Lubby. The Nightmare is going to go off onto the Vengeful Spirit, but the damage drain is there. One raise is going to connect to the Vengeful Spirit. Second raise should connect as well. It's not going to be enough. 18 HP survives. Now Lubby taking quite a bit of damage. He'll be the first blood as Jesse Vash picks that one up. KS also going to hit pretty hard, as will Miracle. I don't think they have enough damage to kill anyone else, but that's going to be first blood for Mineski, and intelligence stolen very early on.
So close of an escape for the Vengeful Spirit, of course, as well. I think Razor, had he not had the static link to steal this damage from Centaur, level 1 static link doesn't steal all that much, but that little even might have made a difference right here. And of course, the Vengeful getting off the stun before he got Nightmared as well definitely bought a little bit or a few extra seconds at the release. So Nice first plot for Mineski. Off to a good start, of course. They kind of need it as well because just up against 4 cores, you need to shut them down. You need to prevent the blink daggers from just coming out really early.
Yeah, so doing well in mid lane is crucial. Doing well in bottom lane, well, that bus kind of drives itself, as the Mag versus Tidehunter matchup is not one that the Mag enjoys. He will be able to, of course, last hit with Shockwave, but if he gets close range, then the Tidehunter is going to walk all over him. Top lane Johnny is not going to have a good matchup versus this Batrider, but now with some support, he might be able to stand up against it, but not if he goes this deep. Now the Firefly from the Bat. Johnny's going to quickly Spectral Dagger and try to juke them out, but I don't think it's going to work. They're instead going to go for Jesse Vash, who's very quickly going to be brought down, and John now with 4 stacks of Napalm. They're not going to dive the tower, but they do get a kill regardless up on the top lane. The Silencer not exactly able to help out that much.
The Silencer just can't do anything really. Last word is going to be there about Batrider. If you use it on him, he had the Firefly activated anyway, so that's going to be most of his damage. And another smoke. Lobby and KS, they are so prepared, of course. Centaur still getting some mana back with the Clarity, but it's looking decent-ish for them. Of course, just Johnny, he's gonna continue having a pretty bad time, even if the supports won't rotate. Just a 1v1 up against Batrider, like you said, it's not fair, but another smoke from Mineski as well. It's the second time already in this game. Who's gonna go down first? Nightmare onto the Vengeful, no stun to follow, and actually Lobby, he's gonna back off as well. Last word comes out, Spectral Dagger catches him, they need the stun. Oh man, they're gonna get the magic missile. Even the Satyr helped out a little bit with the shockwave. Kai wants to go for some counter kills, might get over, but he's completely out of mana. Can't even go for an additional sticky napalm. KS drops low as well. Curse of the Silent brings them low, and they're gonna get another kill. The Satyr Tormentor not gonna get the deny. Vengeful does go down in the end as Kai can actually get down Johnny. I think he can. One more right click. Yes, he's gonna be able to. Now Chishivash, he's gonna clean up house, I think, unless Kai. Oh god, he got himself denied, but intelligence still stolen.
This is a huge amount of intelligence stolen. After all is said and done, I think the real winner is going to be the Silencer, who, even though he didn't get the last kill, is going to be hitting so much harder moving forward. They're going to go for mid lane. Miracle is going to hit with the magic missile. There's no mana on the Razor, however. Actually, Miracle is going to turn around and try to fight this one out. He might get the kill, and he will. Turning things around on the Razor. Shadow Fiend with 3 points in Shadow Raise. You got to respect that damage, and Mineski falling just a little bit short, but 4-4 is the ultimate kill score, and Batrider getting 2-1-1 at the end of that. Oh, it's actually Vengeful Spirit who's barely gonna dodge that final raise from Miracle. 20 for 7 versus the 14 for 1. This Shadow Fiend's actually doing a lot better versus the Raiders than I really thought, and overall the score is still tied, but this Roam and First Departure, overall they should be happy with the tied game. They're gonna go for the bottom lane now, skewering the Tidehunter back into Lobby, or closer to Lobby at least. Now the body blocks are there. Fu's going to try to run to the right, but I think Lubby's going to land the stomp no matter what. Casting quite a bit of damage, and he's not going to be able to stick around much longer. Fu with the jukes. He's going to go to the south. No stomp just yet. He's bottling up at the same time. Fu's all of a sudden very healthy. He doesn't have a gush, however, so Lubby is now going to close in for the hoof stomp, looking for it. There it is. He's actually... No, he used it and he missed. I thought he canceled that one. Now the Anchor Smash, and Fu's going to 1v3. He's going to kill off the Centaur. Now going to pop the Ravage onto Dafa. Anchor Smash him down. Not going to quite be enough to get the kill, and he's not going to dive the tower. Shockwave not going to kill him off either. Anchor Smash out of range. Charge forward is Dafa. One more hit. It's going to get the kill. 6 HP. He survives, but he gets killed by creeps. That's a double kill for Fu. In the meantime, we have another set of fights going up on top where Batrider traded his life for the Silencer, but Silencer got more intelligence off of that. This game is just so chaotic.
The creep wave, actually right-clicking away at the Magnus, was huge. It was almost a triple creep wave. At least there were free range creeps. Definitely helping out, but this Tidehunter, he juked it perfectly, to be honest. The Centaur thought he's gonna cut his way through the trees from the side chop and just come from behind, but he just juked away. Went to the bottom side, and of course, I think the bottle on the Tidehunter was what made most of that happen. Oh god, 6-7, we're only 5.5 minutes in. Just so much rotation by both teams early on. Double smokes. Like 3 minutes in, a little bit earlier even. And god, this is just an awesome game.
How fantastic would it have been for Mineski if Spectre was level 6? She could have collected so much just by pressing that ultimate button. Like, everyone on bottom lane was so roughed up, and I mean, Dafa, he would have been killed by the Spectre instead of just dying to a random creep. But Fu really showing off his tankiness as a Tidehunter. Level 2 Kraken Shell, plus the Anchor Smash damage swing cannot be underestimated, and well, when you're dealing with just Bane Centaur, those are heroes that don't do a lot of damage. I mean, Centaur does do a lot of damage if you get close, and if he has levels, that's not the case. Bane coming the same way, so this Tidehunter is going to be pretty resilient down on this bottom lane, and Mag can't really do anything about it. Again, the matchup is just so very heavily favored for the Tide. Even though Dafa's actually doing not too bad in the CS department, Fu has complete control of the lane.
Just Look at the centaur. He's only level 2 still. Nowhere near his blink dagger. Nowhere near even his stampede to help out with the team really. So at least Bane is level 4, so he's gonna be a little bit closer to his Fiend script. But so far, this just support centaur hasn't been the strongest. 3 deaths, 2 assists only. A little bit under just whelming really so far. Maybe along the way he's gonna be a huge threat or something. Oh, but reverse polarity onto Tidehunter, skewer under the tower as well, Lobby. Can he get the hoof stomp? He's trying to angle himself for it. There's no Ravage yet. Should be an easy kill, or is it? The silence is there, Curse of the Silent to follow. And Tidehunter, he's just too damn tanky.
That was a hoof stomp and an only level 1 skewer. He barely lost any HP, and now on top lane, Johnny's gonna get a kill on the Batrider just with a very simple level 1 magic missile setup. They can't kill this Tidehunter. Like, it can't be done. This mag needs like 3 or 4 more levels before that's even a dream for him. And well, I mean, the silencer was there the entire time. Jesse Vash could have potentially shown his face and helped out, but he didn't even need to. Like, Tidehunter took 200 damage for that entire combo, and First Departure rotated 3 heroes down for that. It got nothing done.
Level 1 reverse polarity is only 50 damage, but a 200 mana cost. And thanks to that, he didn't actually have enough mana to shockwave. So that definitely hurt, but Kai now, he's coming in. He has the lasso and the blink dagger. He got it just before his death. But Jesse Vash and Fu, they just smoke away from there. I'm not too sure if they saw the Batrider or they were sensing that the Batrider is probably gonna come in for a gank or something, but this smoke timing might be just perfect. Although they're gonna run into Kai anyway, who gets the blink out. So smoke for just the revelation of a blink, it's worth it I think for Mineski.
Yeah, the Batrider's still potentially going to look for an angle, but into a Ravage, just not really where you want to be going. Regardless, he's still flied up, and if he catches someone off guard, it's going to be initiation, although he, I guess, misclicked on the lasso and didn't actually throw it out, so no lasso going to happen there. Miracle's in the area, but if he gets Ravaged, he's very quickly going to drop. This is actually a pretty quick blink dagger from the Batrider, all things considered, and again, Batrider is one of those heroes that excels so much when he gets his blink, and that's just going to buy more space for hopefully someone else to get a blink on First Departure as well. But if Batrider can't get much done with this blink dagger, then First Departure, I mean, they're facing up against a Spectre who's getting an absolute free time right now, and a Silencer who's actually getting quite a bit of intelligence stolen. This is not looking the best for First Departure, even though they have a slight gold lead. The experience is slightly in favor of Mineski, and really the only winner for First Departure is the Shadow Fiend.
The Shadow Fiend is farming up like a madman, to be honest. 4,500 net worth. Next highest will be 3.2 on the Razor. So he's had such a good time in the mid lane, although they tried to gank him twice early on. One gank ended up and actually Miracle getting a kill instead. But now Kai, he wants to go with the blink dagger, Firefly activated as well. Johnny though, just backing off to the smart direction under his own tower. Jesse Vash though, he's gonna get jumped upon. Lasso comes out, should be an easy kill. Level 2 brain zap as well. Lobby gonna follow with the hoof stomp. Actually no, the Curse of the Silent is there. Lobby's gonna go down in return, I think. The right clicks, yes, Johnny. He gets the counter, so it's... Oh, never mind, Tidehunter. He goes down bottom lane. So in the end, it's worth it, of course, for First Departure, but just the 1-1 trade. I would have thought they're easily going to kill the Silencer really without losing anything. And okay, yes, he's going to get chased down as well by Johnny. Don't feed the Spectre, it's rule number 1.
Yeah, you never ever feed a Spectre, and well, honestly, like First Departure, they're trying to avoid the Spectre as best they can. They're not even going for the kill on the Spectre, but they're just running a little bit too close, a little bit too often. And Spectre with level 3 Desolate and level 4 Dagger is actually able to put out quite a bit of damage when you're not focusing her, and that's clearly what's going on right now. So ignoring Johnny, probably not the best bet. If they were going for the Spectre, they probably could have brought him down, but I mean, this Centaur is just so underwhelming right now. Level 2 Double Edge, level 1 Stomp, and Johnny gonna go strong versus the Batrider. He can't Firefly away from a Spectral Dagger. This is just gonna be a solo kill from Johnny. I can't believe he just did that. He killed off the Batrider, gonna now grab Phase Boots. Tower gonna drop him low, but he's gonna survive at 30 HP and then earn him up. This Spectre is getting solo kills on your Batrider. That is never supposed to happen until like 50 minutes into the game.
Yeah, and the major thing that actually allowed him to chase him down like that as well is the urn. Just put on the urn on the Batrider. He can't blink away all of a sudden thanks to the urn changes. So really well done by Chonya, and when he was chasing, I thought it's probably going to be a huge mistake, but 4 points into Desolate, none into Dispersion, just going for such an aggressive skill build as well. Oh god. Spectre looking pretty good, to be honest, since he was struggling so hard early on against Pat.
Yeah, but now with 5-1-2, he could have been going for, I think, a straight relic, but he's making use of his early game items. Like, the Orb of Venom is a very rare pickup on the Spectre. Everything else is more standard, but Spectre with Uv is going to be able to just do so much work, and we clearly see that right now. First Departure, they're going to find a kind of game time item with this Shadow Fiend picking up his Shadow Blade. But can he actually do anything with this? Fu's on the bottom lane. He is actually not even close to his Blink Dagger. He's still 1,200 gold away. I would expect him to be a little bit closer by now, considering he was up against no one. But they don't even need this Tidehunter, honestly. Like, the fact that Spectre is getting this much of an easy time is going to mean that Mineski are very comfortable. And Miracle, though he is having a lot of farm, in fact, he's at 100 farm. That's like, oh my god, that's like almost 10 CS a minute. That's ridiculous. But he's not doing anything for his team.
Well, not yet at the release, but if he joins the fight, he's gonna hit so damn hard. He's almost hitting for 200 damage already, 12 minutes in. Does he have Presence of the Dark Lord already? Yes, he does, 1 point into it, so -3 armor. He's gonna hit so hard. They want to go for the Tidehunter, not the easiest kill to go for even with the lasso coming out. Will the Crack Angel pop in time? Yes, it will. There's the Ravage, Global Silence as well. Haunt comes in from Chony. They want to go for Kai first, I think. Yeah, Miracle just going for the TP out, no Magic Missile, no nothing. Chony picks himself up a mega kill streak by killing off Aloka. So it kind of backfired. Nice idea, but bad hero to go on. And they're going to go for Dafa. Minus armor comes out. There's the Curse of the Sun. He gets the skewer, but the stun will connect anyway. And I don't think he can escape. The swap comes out. Maybe not the best one. The bottling. Dafa, can he actually escape? Nope. Last Claves of Wisdom. Jessivash, 12 points of damage stolen. Or intelligence stolen.
Mineski are just picking apart First Departure right now. They're certainly playing in such a way to punish First Departure's really greedy light up. Like, the Centaur has not been doing anything this game. The Bane hasn't been doing anything either because he doesn't have a Centaur that can do anything. They're going to get a kill up on top. Miracle going to show off that Shadow Blade again, and this time get a kill on a much easier target than a Tidehunter. But in getting kills on the Shadow Fiend, he's not going to have the amount of farm, I don't think, in order to just completely carry this game. He needs someone else on his team to step up, but Mag is nowhere close to a Blink Dagger. The Centaur is nowhere close to a Blink Dagger either. And Batrider is really struggling to get his initiation going. So right now, the First Departure show is all Miracle. And Mineski, they're pretty well spread out. They have a lot of intelligence still on the Silencer. The Spectre is farming up a Storm. Razor's been kind of flying under the radar. He actually doesn't have that much. He has something flying out towards him. This is the completed mech, most of a mech. And Tidehunter always has a Ravage. So Mineski, they're a lot more spread out as far as who's useful. And if you could pick off a Shadow Fiend with a Magic Missile or a Ravage, then you're going to be winning those fights.
You most likely are. It's not like it's something like a Naga Siren where Miracle just takes over the game just by split pushing and not really meeting the enemy at all. Just Shadow Fiend. Yeah, he's going for a BKB. Smart item choice as well. He really needs it to just be able to stand his ground and really right click and deliver. But before he gets that BKB, he's going to have to be so wary of just getting bursted to death.
Yeah, it's going to be so delicate. And if he goes down, then the rest of his team is going to be soon to follow. Mineski, they're just going to stay the course. Get the Spectre a little bit more farm. Already holding on to 2,200 gold, 14 minutes in with everything else. It's going to be a relic for Spectre, and it's not going to be a slow one either, especially when you consider the amount of items Spectre has spent, or the amount of items the Spectre has purchased before going for that relic. So Mineski, they're fine with taking this slow. They're fine with taking this quickly. Really, no matter what, First Departure, they have to look to make things happen. And who's going to make that happen? It has to be the Batrider, and he's going to look to set up over on mid, but he's going to be surprised by a Blink Dagger Ravage being now freshly picked up by the Tidehunter, and he's not even going to go for it. Tide just wants to farm.
Well, I have to say that the initiation suddenly got a lot stronger for First Departure if they want to combo it up now with the Stampede since Centaur. He was soaking up some XP on the bottom lane. So he's level 6 now, has the Stampede ready, and Stampede plus Lasso combination. You can drag somebody so far out of position. But of course, you're gonna have to go for the correct heroes. And Vengeful Spirit, he's level 8, has the Nether swap available, and he's almost always gonna be there just to get that swap going.
Top lane Miracle is going to look to very aggressively, potentially even dive this. Yeah, he's going to go for Bash, but here comes Johnny right there, and Jesse Bash losing about half his HP in one hit, but Miracle can't really stand up to both the Spectre and Silencer. He's going to straight TP away, and he will be able to survive. Now Global Silence over towards mid, where the Ravage is going to connect onto Dafa, and KS both are going to go down. Nightmare is not going to help you here. It might help him for a little longer, but it's not going to do it. Johnny's going to get the kill on the Bane. Mineski once again collecting so much all around the map, and where's the Batrider initiation? It's still available, but it's not used.
I have no clue why they even tried to go in like that. Mid lane, of course, I think Mineski were the ones going aggressive, but there's the last one to Chony. Do they even have enough damage to get the kill? Miracle with his ultimate Requiem of Souls. He's gonna clean up. Chony might even get Fu here, or will he's gonna stand up. He dies in return. They're gonna get Fu in the end, so a 2-for-1, but Magnus, he bought back Fiend Script onto the Razor as well. Nicely done, Skewer under the tower by Dafa. So they get a pretty good exchange in the end, but just Miracle dying there, not a favorable position.
Yeah, so that was probably the worst fight that Mineski have taken thus far. Finally, Lasso doing something, and Miracle definitely providing the damage that his team desperately needs. But Mineski, that was kind of them putting themselves voluntarily into a poor situation, fighting without Ravage, and putting Spectre on the front lines like that is generally not what you want to do. You want her to be reality-ing in every single time, so as to avoid the brunt of the damage. But it's gonna hurt Mineski for sure. It's not really going to be crippling, as actually still First Departure are in this game in a very big way, mostly because of the Shadow Fiend, but it just feels like Mineski have so much more control over this game. Now with the Hand of Midas on the Silencer, that's a very scary item. It's not the fastest Hand of Midas in the world, but for a support Silencer, it's definitely pretty timely.
Well, one thing that actually First Departure gained from that last fight is that Lobby suddenly, he's up to 1.5k gold on the Centaur, so not all that far from his Blink Dagger, and if he gets his Blink as well, the one thing First Departure will always have in their favor, I think, is just the ability to fight way more often than Mineski can, just because their ultimates have such lower cooldowns, and they want to go for the Razor. Kai, he has the lasso already, will he jump for it? Without the Force Staff, it's really hard to go on the Razor, but he's still gonna go for the Stampede, helps him to get out. Do they have the Ravage? No, they do not, Tafa. Gonna get stunned up before the reverse polarity, but Miracle, he's gonna clean up Razor so damn fast, but it's a 1-for-1 so far. A nice swap onto Miracle, Global Silence to follow, they need some burst. Slows, stuns, anything. Finally, the Magic Missile connects onto Miracle. They're gonna get the kill as well. Another few points of damage stolen for the Silencer. Now, they're gonna get Lobby as well with the Haunt. Kai TP's out, but a 3-for-1 in the end. Horrible exchange for First Departure.
Yeah, I thought that was going to be a really bad fight
He wants more. KS, he doesn't have enough mana for a Nightmare, nor a Brain Sap. Johnny gets the last Spectral Dagger. One more right click. No, the Flame Break. Are you kidding me? The Urn will be enough. Johnny up to the high ground. Might still get chased down by Kai. Nope. Nice slow comes out from the guy, so Johnny, he should be safe. So 4-for-1.
Yeah, even better for Mineski. And I thought that was going to be a really bad fight because they got their Razor lassoed, and VS, she had an opportunity to swap and snap that lasso, but she, for whatever reason, decided not to. I thought that was a mistake, but turns out she was just saving it to initiate onto Miracle, and that turned out to be the correct decision. Shadow Fiend getting put into the middle of an entire enemy team is never where you want to be, especially without a BKB, so the Vengeful Spirit making a decision that was honestly a decision that I'm sure not many players would have made, getting paid off for it. Mineski are going to take that one home very comfortably, getting more and more farm on just all of their heroes. There's a Blink Dagger on Tide, as I mentioned before. The Spectre is actually going to slow down and go for a Yasha. I think it would have been better to go for a Radiance, but hell, going for Yasha, Manta Style, those types of items aren't too terrible either.
Yeah, they definitely aren't, and to be honest, one thing as well, that fight, it was one without the Ravage on Tide Hunter even. If they had the Ravage, probably would have been either just a faster and complete team wipe, or might have gone the same. And still, Miracle, he has died twice now in the last couple of minutes. He's still, though, almost 3,000 net worth ahead. It's absolutely ridiculous how much he's farming. 155 last hits compared to next highest on the Razor, which is 74. He is more than doubling the next highest farmer, at least as far as CS are concerned.
Yeah, unfortunately, as good as that is for Miracle, that means that if he does go down, suddenly First Departure don't have any more net worth, and we can see that it's very easy for Mineski to bring that hero down. The BKB is certainly going to help him, but up against Swap and the amount of physical damage that Mineski could potentially put out with the Static Link and Anchor Smash and whatnot, the Shadow Fiend is going to have to play this game so very carefully because pretty much he's the only hope for First Departure. Like, as bad as it is to say that so early on, it's only 20 minutes into the game, the Batrider doesn't even have his Force Staff right now. Mag, does he have a Blink? No, he doesn't. It's 20 minutes, he doesn't have a Blink. Centaur actually has his. Somehow Lubby found gold for that, so that's a fortunate thing going for First Departure, but that's about it, and they're just facing down such a huge advantage right now in Mineski that this 4 Protect 1, if you could call it that, is going to be on the knife's edge, and if he drops that knife, he's just so screwed, and his team is screwed as well.
The funniest thing for me is that the Centaur got his Blink Dagger before the Magnus, so it's really a wonder how he did that. But at the very least, he has his Blink Dagger, that's the most important. Has the Stampede as well. Hoofstomp not maxed out yet, so doesn't need it all that bad. And they're just going for the tower. Miracle has his BKB, he feels pretty safe with just Kai backing him up as well. His entire team is pretty close by, and Mineski, do they want to initiate into a BKB Shadow Fiend?
I think they should be willing to. I mean, they have a lot of physical damage, as I said before, and Vengeful Spirit, crucially, has a level 11. So she has level 2 swap, and that range, compared to level 1, is just so huge. She could very easily initiate the fight for Mineski, because that's really what Mineski are lacking right now. As good as a position as they're in, it's going to be the Batrider to initiate most of the times. Maybe the Centaur sometimes, but Mineski, they don't have any Blink Dagger holders that could realistically start a fight. Tidehunter Blink Ravage is fine if you have an opportunity, but those opportunities are going to be very, very rare. So as long as Mineski can start fights, then they're going to be able to just take them so very easily.
To be honest, one thing, of course, if you do initiate with the swap, means that you really have no way to get anybody out of the lasso. So he might want to save it for that, but of course, if you can catch somebody completely out of position, especially if it should be somebody like the Shadow Fiend, it's definitely really worth to just go for it. And Shadow Fiend, he's pilling for some lifesteal now as well. He's already hitting for 250 damage with the Empower helping out, which is level 4 as well, so it's maxed out. He is really a truck. If he just is given the space to right click freely in a team fight, it's gonna be so sick as Magnus gets his own Blink Dagger. So first departure, they're probably or almost as strong as they're more or less ever gonna be. Just the Shadow Fiend can build up some more damage, of course, but their initiation won't get any stronger than this. Maybe with the 4-staff on Batrider, but that's about it.
Oh, maybe just a couple more levels on the Magnus. I mean, he's level 12. He only has level 2 Skewer because he's decided to go for Empower, which I think is a decent decision in this game because they are so reliant on Miracle, but Blink Skewer is a pretty decent way of initiating fights. If you catch someone off, you're pretty much going to kill them off. It's very similar to a Blink Batrider initiation, but only level 2 Skewer probably isn't going to get much done, so their initiation is actually going to get quite a bit better from here on out. And Mineski, as you said, their initiation is really going to struggle. Their Vengeful Spirit swap is probably going to be prioritized for saving people from Batrider as opposed to initiating. So if First Departure can get the jump and if they can protect Miracle, then the fight's theirs. But that's a lot to go right, and with the way Mineski are playing right now with Ravage Global Silence, they just have so many ways of messing with the game plan at First Departure.
I still can't believe how far Miracle is. He's almost 5k ahead of the next highest already. He's just farming twice as fast as anybody else, it feels like. But Kai, he's on the hunt for something. I think he got pinged out by the Razor. So they know he's there. And Miracle, or never mind, Tafa, he's just going to TP away to the top side. Going to defend the tower, get some farm for himself. But Miracle, how the hell is he farming this fast? Or rather, how the hell is everybody else farming so slow maybe in comparison?
I think the answer is Miracle is an android sent by the future. And nope, Ravage. What? Huh? Well, I mean, Ravage is used. Miracle now going to pop the BKB, channel up the Requiem, decide to cancel it because of the global silence. He's going to swap back right into the middle of the enemy team. BKB Shadowblade, he's going to try to book it, but there is vision here. Blink forward from Lovey's going to slow down a couple. Now Miracle is out of vision range. He's still going to hit with the Anchor Smash, but he should be fine. In the meantime, south end of the fight, it's going to be the Centaur to drop as the Bane also getting himself into a dangerous position. Batrider is going to drop as well. That's going to be a 3-0. However, for First Departure, Miracle does get to live. He is still in a very awkward position. Dafa is also going to be engaged upon by Fu, but Mineski clean up, despite the fact that their Ravage was absolutely terrible. They don't get the Shadow Fiend, and really that's the hero you want to kill.
That Ravage, it was just such a fail. He blinked straight after the Ravage as well. That was the funniest thing. Maybe he got interrupted by a Flame Break with his Blink Dagger. I'm not too sure. As Miracle, Shadow Blade, he wants to go into the mid lane. Should be an easy kill. One right click. Oh my god, he gets the Magic Missile by Ova. Ova might even be able to outrun him, and actually will be thanks to the drums. But Blink Hoofstomp, nope. Lobby misses that as well. But that fight, the guy shot to Lobby, can they get the return? I think they can. Blink, Anchor Smash, swap back from Ova as well. The silence is already there. Magic Missile to follow, minus armor. And another kill for Mineski, but that fight, Global Silence, I think, helped out so much. Otherwise, with the Requiem of Souls coming out from Shadow Fiend, might have gone differently. But just 4-staff, they're never gonna stop fighting Miracle. Static Link, he gets out of it, but Aluka is already down. There's the reverse priority, catching free. Do they have the Requiem of Souls? No, they do not. And Miracle, actually, yes, he does. But he's still gonna go down. They had the Sentry reward. Tidehunter does fall in return, but Dafa, can he chase down Johnny? I have my doubts. Earn on cooldown. Dafa, come on, Shockwave. No, not gonna go for it. Goes the other way around. Might get Razor thanks to KS. A negative earn. Oh man, Razor. I think he's just barely tanky enough. Oh god, those fights. They're just 100% horrible for First Departure.
Okay, so as good as it is to land a 3-man RP and then, you know, try to go for those Dota Cinema moments where you skewer them right into a fully charged Requiem, you don't want to get the enemies close to your Shadow Fiend. In fact, you want to skewer them away from the Shadow Fiend. Like, the closer the enemies are to the Shadow Fiend, the more danger your team is in general. And though he did get the Requiem off, it just wasn't enough. Like, this Shadow Fiend is not tanky enough. He doesn't have a Satanic or something like that in order to just stand there and fight. He needs to get as much space between him and the enemies as possible. So, Mag, a great RP, a great skewer in theory, but he ended up screwing over his friendly Shadow Fiend, and they have every single egg in their Shadow Fiend basket. Like, look at the net worth. It's Shadow Fiend on top by quite a large margin, and then a whole block of Mineski heroes. So the Mag can't afford to make mistakes like that.
Oh, they certainly cannot, especially since Chisivash. His Hand of Midas has been running for quite some time on the support silencer. 24 points of stolen intelligence. Plus, he's only 500 gold away from the Aghanims. And that Aghanims is gonna screw them over so bad. It's gonna just disable their Blink Dagger, initiation or counter initiation possibilities for such a long time. Oh god, it's really good for Mineski. And just before those fights, or I mean, kind of turn of events even, the fights lasted for like 2-3 minutes with maybe like 10 seconds in between, but Miracle, he was almost 5k ahead of the Razor and the Spectre before, but suddenly that 5k has turned into 3. Yes, it's still a pretty solid lead, but that's just single core might not be enough to carry them.
It's going to be so delicate for them. Miracle, he needs, I don't know, he needs just RPs, and then he just needs to be left alone. Land 2 raises after that, and you could probably clean up, but I don't really know what the Shadow Fiend can do. As much gold as he's getting, he's not like, he still has 4,000 gold ahead of the Spectre, which is quite a large margin, but if you compare that to like all the other gold in the Mineski heroes, the Shadow Fiend is not going to be able to kill everyone. Like, if this was a Medusa getting this much farm, I would say, okay, you could probably realistically 1v5. Shadow Fiend is mostly single target with how he behaves as a carry. He's just gonna right click one person at a time. Of course, everything else he has is going to affect multiple people, but the damage he's going to be doing is reliant on one target only, and that's really not what you want to have happen. As good as it is to kill off one target at a time, unless you're killing them off in like 2 hits, it's not going to be good enough.
Well, he's on the hunt at the moment with a haste rune, Shadow Bladed up as well. Not gonna run into Chisivash, who finished up his Aghanims. Actually, never mind. He's gonna find him anyway with the haste. Chisi, he has no escape at all. No Ghost Scepter. He's going for the TP out. Not gonna make it. It looks only 6 right clicks. Johnny though, does he really want to fight with Miracle? I guess he really does. Last word comes out. Disarming Miracle as well. He has the BKB still if necessary. Johnny, he's gonna keep on chasing, and in the meantime, mid lane, they're gonna get another kill. This time onto Dafa. KS. No blink, no nothing. Kai can maybe help out with a flame break. Anything. No, Pawn comes out from the Spectre. Should be easy kill onto the Bane minus armor. Yes, Johnny gets another kill for him. Fu gonna blink onto Kai. Nice swap back as well. And just, it's a 3-for-1. Every single time first pusher get a kill, they lose like 2 or 3 in return.
Yeah, and they are, I guess, not losing their Shadow Fiend most of these times, so that's fine. Lubby's going to jump forward for a completely botched stun. He's going to get chain stunned up, and Shadow Fiend can't really do much. He's going to get his damage drained out by Razor, and a Shadow Fiend without damage is suddenly all your net worth slowly draining away. 15k suddenly looks a little bit more like 5k as Miracle is going to be chased down. One more Plasma Field is all they need, but it looks like they're going to back off, respecting KS coming in. The Global Silence is not going to kill off Shadow Fiend. He lives at 50 HP. But really, they don't even have to kill the Shadow Fiend. They're just farming all of the other First Departure's heroes, and there is nothing that First Departure can really do about this.
Just this Centaur, he got this Blink Dagger pretty, just with a good timing, I have to say, especially considering he was a support and he was like level 2, 6, 7 minutes into the game still. But his hoof stomps or his blinks, I'm not too sure if he's underestimating or overestimating rather the distance of a blink or what, but he has been failing so many blink initiations really, and they can't allow for that to happen. Looking at the graphs as well now, it used to be a pretty even game. Suddenly 10,000 net worth lead for Mineski, XP 14,000 almost already. It's going to, I think, take quite a lot for Mineski to kind of throw this game.
Yeah, I mean, you can't really rely on one hero like this all the time unless it is going to be one of those AoE carries, Gyro, Medusa, those types. Getting an Aegis would certainly be nice, but they're going to smoke up instead. Look for somebody else, and who's it going to be? It might be Fu, but killing this Tidehunter is going to be difficult, though possible. I think this is the best that First Departure are going to find, but they're going to be running into a tower, so smoke, well, I mean, they can't even get him. Fu's just running to the south, playing things per normal, and he's not going to be caught. No one's going to be caught, in fact, from First Departure.
Do you think they should have just gone and backdoor to tier 1 now? I mean, they were there as 5 anyway. They are hoping to get some pick off. Actually, they're gonna get the jump onto Chishi as well. No Global Silence, no Ravage either. They have the Haunt, but oh, it had the gem on it as well. Nobody has the room to pick it up. There's the Haunt coming out. They want to counter initiate. They have the Ravage now. It's off cooldown. Can he get the blink close enough though? I don't think so, Johnny. Gonna chase down Lobby anyway, maybe. Plasma Field, they get the swap back, Johnny. He's a dead centaur. Blink Ravage. Oh, it actually catches stuff as well on the sidelines. So no blink. Reverse polarity shenanigans, but a 1-for-1 support for support, although still Jesse Vash, way more farm than the Centaur.
These Ravages, man, that was, like, pretty bad. Like, it did technically catch 2 heroes, but let's be honest, it only caught 1 hero, as Mag was unable to do anything even if he did jump in there. So, even though he's not getting the perfect Ravages off, Mineski, they're still taking decent enough fights. I mean, Johnny is stacked as hell. He's having the Mantis style. He's probably going to go for a heart straight after. Again, I think Meridians could have been a little bit better, but who cares? The Spectre is getting farm, and I think in a straight-up man fight, Spectre with Desolate is going to be able to beat the Shadow Fiend, although it's going to be certainly very close. Mineski, they're not dying in these fights, and really, First Departure, the longer this game goes on, I guess the longer it's going to be for their Mag and for their Centaur to get a couple of items up, but the Shadow Fiend is very quickly approaching that 6-slot status. He's going to get the Daedalus, sell his bottle, pick up a Satanic. I mean, he still has quite a ways away to go, but if at a certain point, First Departure, they're just going to hit the peak, and that's a peak that Mineski are not going to hit for quite a long time. They're going to go for Mag up on top. He's going to blink out, Curse of the Silent, a little bit too late to cancel that, so no one's going to die just yet, but First Departure, I don't really know what they could do aside from just look for these pickoffs and hopefully have the Shadow Fiend carry this game with single target damage. A double damage rune is certainly a great way to start if he was with his team, but he's not.
It's like, yeah, that's their one opening. Yeah, still about, I think, 2 minutes to use it, or a minute and a half, if you picked it up at the 32-minute mark. But, come on, there's gonna be a double Ravage now, although Fu, he already popped his Refresher Orb just to get his own Ravage, the first one. Not too sure if it was worth it. They were kind of expecting for a fighter, they must have been, otherwise maybe a misclick. But in any case, we're gonna have a double Ravage to work with in the future. And there is still only one BKB. Magnus slowly working towards his own. Everybody else, though, pretty damn far away from it, even if they want to go for BKBs. So just, game is hard if you're First Departure at the moment. And there's even a smoke from Mineski and Miracle. He's the closest hero. If they can catch the Shadow Fiend here, it's going to be just such a huge kill.
If a single stun lands, then I'm sure Spectre's going to pull the trigger and haunt in. They are going to catch eyes, and Vengeful Spirit's going to get swapped back. There's the Invisible into the BKB. Miracle is going to unleash a full Requiem onto the Razor, who doesn't pop a BKB for whatever reason. Now Miracle's going to stand and turn around, but he has lost a lot of damage. Now there's the haunt from the Spectre. Where is she actually going to land? She's going to go up towards top lane, where they land a Ravage onto 2. Chaos and Lubby both going to go down in a hurry. Lubby's going to escape for a little while longer, but the last word is going to have that last word. No, Tyhunter's going to get the kill. Never mind. That's still 2 kills going the way of Mineski. They don't get the Shadow Fiend once again, but do they even need to? Because they're getting kills everywhere else, and a tier 1 tower. Might even be a tier 2 tower, actually.
Oh, it's so funny. They found Miracle so many times in the jungle now, it feels like, and every single time Miracle escapes, but the others die, and there's the global silence. They're gonna go for Dafa. Oh god, another 3 heroes dead. Mineski, I think they're playing it so damn well, especially with the Haunt. Johnny, I have to commend him on the Spectre. He went for the Diffusal Blade as well, just left the Vitality booster as a casual one. They're getting so many kills, it's not even funny. 36 to 17. Miracle, man, he's actually sneaking Roshan. He has his Satanic finished up as well. Gonna drop his bottle. He's gonna have the Aegis, 2000 HP to work with. I think if First Departure, if only they can land like even a semi-decent reverse turret or something with the Aegis and Shadow Fiend, they might have a chance in a fight. But every time they're just spread out and Mineski finds them instead.
Yeah, Miracle's going to run straight into Fu. 5-shot him, I think. That would have been enough to get the kill, but he doesn't have an Eye of Scotty or anything like that, so sticking onto the targets without ally support is pretty impossible for Miracle. I mean, we keep on saying how farm the Shadow Fiend is, and yeah, he's still very dangerous, but I don't think Aegis is really going to change the game plan, because he's the only one on his team, and I don't know if anyone has tried to play 1v5 Dota. I think I've tried to like 6 years ago or something, and it wasn't fun, so it's going to be hard for Miracle to win this game on his own. Mineski, they could just honestly just split push this. I mean, Spectre is going to be doing that. That's what Spectre does. And she's not going to be able to outrace Miracle just because of the amount of single damage he has. But hell, if First Departure don't do something in this mid lane, then they're just going to be forced to play back. And the longer they wait, the bigger the Spectre is going to get. And then suddenly everyone from First Departure is vulnerable. They're going to take the tier 2 tower. And it looks like they'll get out of there scot-free. I guess the Aegis on Shadow Fiend is scary enough.
It's definitely, especially since he has the Satanic as well, and he has the BKB, which means there's really only one thing that can interrupt him for a little while, the swap. Definitely not the best idea either, although the BKB, it's down to 6 seconds only. That is one of the downsides if you get the BKB rather early and rather fast. It's going to be down to 5 seconds when it comes late game, and late game is where you need it most. When there's double Ravage, there's going to be double Global Silence at some point as well coming up from Jesse Vash. And if he has only a 5-second BKB, he might just not be able to deliver with the right clicks.
Yeah, I mean, the only real chance for First Departure to take a convincing fight is if they get the right initiation. Again, that's the weakness of Mineski, the strength of First Departure, is the ability to grab, ideally, Johnny, and then drag him back in, but this is trying to do so into a Vengeful Spirit swap, who has gone for a mass stat build. What the hell is this VS build? I have no idea what I'm looking at right now, but you can't initiate on the Spectre. You have to initiate on the VS, otherwise the lasso gets snapped. You could try to blink in center hoof stomp RP, but that's not reliable, so this is going to be dangerous. They're going to, first of all, send the Batrider off on a super secret mission. I don't think it's going to work. I think they see the fire. Oh, they definitely see him now. The dagger's going to connect, and the Batrider's got to book it. Fu looking to jump right in. He's going to force that forward for a Ravage. These Ravages have just been terrible. I mean, they get the kill on the Batrider, but still, that was not a great Ravage. Now they're going to go for Shadow Fiend, who's actually going to kill off the Silencer in the meanwhile. He's still sitting in the middle with the Satanic, not even active just yet. He's going to pop the Aegis first, but he's completely surrounded. What's the Ravage? Stop it, Boo. Stop it. You're embarrassing yourself. Now the RP is going to come through. Boo and Razor both in so much trouble. Miracle's going to wail on both of them. That's going to be 3 from Mineski down. Everyone else is going to leave. Okay, you know what? Mineski can lose this game if they completely waste their Ravages. They're going to catch Johnny with the grip, and this is going to be yet another kill for First Departure. Mineski with the throws. There's no other way to put it. I mean, those Ravages are just abysmal.
I think Lobby's going to die to the urn. Oh, never mind. Positive urn. It's not going to be enough. Gets cancelled immediately by the negative urn. Oh, God. At least they get the Centaur in return, but those Ravages, those throws, oh, God. Just...
I've seen better Ravages by
is this actually Rex?
a certain other female player.
Spectre has buyback, but none of the others do. Can First Departure actually force Rex from this?
I think they can. I mean, the Empower on Shadow Fiend, he's hitting like an absolute truck, and they have no Ravages. They had 2. They barely even used 1. This is going to be Rax's First Departure. I cannot believe that Mineski threw away this much of a lead. Look at, I mean, they're going to get the swap back on Mag, but he's going to get himself skewered out. Now here comes the Spectre Haunt. Can she actually do anything by herself? She's going to jump forward and look to go for Chaos, but the Stampede is now out, and Johnny cannot keep up with them. They're going to lose the melee Raktas, and First Departure, they get away scot-free. Okay, so Mineski, you still have this game. Just land your Ravages, skill up good skills with Vengeful Spirit, and you're fine.
God, I cannot believe we saw such a fight happen. Yes, Shadow Fiend had the Aegis, all well and good, but even during his first life, when he didn't pop a BKB, didn't pop a Satanic or anything, he still got so much damage done, and his right clicks just hurt so damn much. And of course, I have to also agree with you that Vengeful, Max, the right skills, that's all well and good, but Vengeance Aura is just such a great ability to have, really. Minus armor maybe not gonna be as impactful, or, well, yes it is, man. They have a pretty reasonable amount of physical damage. I really don't know. I don't think, of course, that the Vengeful skill build is the biggest issue. It's just the Ravages. The first one was okay, hitting on one hero, just getting a guaranteed kill on the Batrider, but the second one, there were literally no heroes in sight even. He just went for the Ravage.
Yeah, and this, I mean, you say that the Vengeful Spirit build isn't really a big deal. The numbers actually do add up when you're dealing with Spectre illusions and stuff like that. Any swing of minus armor or plus damage can help. This is honestly the Vengeful Spirit build of a level 7 Vengeful Spirit. Like 1 swap, 1 Vengeance Aura, 1 wave, maxed out missile. There is, I don't believe, any reason to go for anything but the other skills of Vengeful Spirit. Stats are just underwhelming. Miracle now. Gonna get with the Ravage. Oh my god, he landed a Ravage, guys. Miracle's gonna be bursted down in a hurry. Refresher Orb for the second Ravage. Please don't use it, Boo. It's a bad idea. Dafa's going to get a skewer back. He's gonna try to TP out now. He's going to make the landing. The Batrider off to the side is going to not initiate, and that's gonna be Miracle down. It's a worthwhile initiation for Mineski, and finally, about time, a Ravage connecting on someone that it's supposed to connect on.
It was pretty beautiful, to be honest, catching all the 3 heroes like that. I think his Refresher Orb wasn't cool enough for like 1 second after his Ravage, so he didn't get to pop it immediately as the second one. Maybe it just came off cooldown, but he just wasn't fast enough to pop the second Ravage. If he had, all 3 heroes would have died there for sure, I think. But still getting the Miracle down, definitely gonna be good. But look at the net worth, Miracle. Almost 25,000, Spectre 14,000. Just this game hinges upon Miracle's shoulders just 100%.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to make or break the game, not only for his own team, but for Mineski. Like, the Ravages, if they are going to land on the Shadow Fiend, then I don't see Mineski losing those fights. If they don't land on the Shadow Fiend, then they're probably not going to win the fight. The Shadow Fiend is going to walk all over them. Aegis is going to be more important this game than in others, especially for First Departure, just because they have all their eggs in the Shadow Fiend basket. They actually might catch Jesse Vash right here, although there is an Observer Ward for the Dire, and they should be able to keep him safe, although he's going to run precariously close to the vision of the Batrider. He will not be in vision, however, so it's going to be Silencer making his escape. Without Shadow Fiend, First Departure, they cannot do a single thing.
Oh god, the graphs. It's just too sick. Like, literally from one fight, it was a 12k net worth lead, now it's only 2,000. That's pretty much nothing, of course. Most of it is on Miracle, so you kill the Miracle, you're suddenly looking at like a 12, 14,000 net worth lead again. But XP also down to only 6,000, and 42 minutes in, this lead is nothing for Mineski, but still their team fight is so sick, especially if JC Vash finds himself that 1,000 extra gold, finishes up the Refresher Orb. Double Global Silence, I'm not too sure if First Departure has what it just takes to deal with that. But First Departure, they are grouped up. They don't want to give away any kills without the just ability to retaliate immediately. But what's the next step for First Departure? Roshan is going to respawn in 2 minutes, we know that exactly, but First Departure, do they just keep grouped up and just help the Shadow Fiend farm up even more, although he's going to be 6 slotted when he finishes the Butterfly.
First Departure, they have to end this game soon, because the Shadow Fiend isn't going to get any stronger, the rest of the team isn't really going to get any stronger either, so Miracle is going to get the Butterfly, I'm sure, saving for buyback, all that good stuff, but he's hitting very hard. He's the most dangerous hero on the map, so if you're not actively using him right now, then you're actively wasting him. So not going for a push or for an objective is going to be a mistake. They are going to try to position themselves for mid. Is there a double Ravage? There will be in 10 seconds. So double Ravage is up for a Tidehunter, which means they'll have one Ravage to work with, obviously. The Batrider is going to try to initiate, and if he catches anyone, assuming no swap, he will be able to get him, and he's going to go up to the air. Stampede is there. The swap back, it's so delayed. Now the Ravage is going to connect out to everyone, though. Miracle's stunned up by the first one, second one as well. No RP from Dafa just yet. It's going to be too late to save his Shadow Fiend buddy, and he's going to go down along with the Batrider. Now Dafa going to try to screw up to the high ground. He's going to now try to TP. No swap yet. Oh, it's actually already been used. He's going to escape, but they take down the Shadow Fiend. And now Mineski are going to breathe a little bit easier. They could look for an objective. Roshan is going to be up soon, although I think it should be a tower push.
Miracle, he really should have expected that kind of counter initiation to happen and maybe pop the BKB a little bit preemptively or something. Or just, they should have followed up or gone for the follow-up immediately, and then he needs to pop his BKB anyway. Definitely unfortunate, and one big thing that Magnus, he popped his BKB to prevent from getting ravaged, but straight after that ravage came the Global Silence, so BKB, they really didn't do any good for Magnus at all since he couldn't reverse polarity anyway. So another great fight for Mineski. They of course used 2 Ravages, so that's going to be on cooldown for a little while, but they'll definitely take the trade. When Miracle down, that's all they need.
And I mean, if you don't have the Shadow Fiend up for First Departure, you're not going to get anything done. They can't even roam around with like 2 heroes or something like that. Like, they're going to see the Tidehunter, and Tidehunter honestly could have just fought the Magnus and probably come out on top, but they can't do anything. None of their other heroes do any damage. Like, they just don't do any damage. Like, these heroes inherently are low damage heroes, with the exception of Centaur, who at this point you would expect to be doing a little bit more, but he doesn't have a 4 stack. He's going to go for what looks like a BKB to help him join those fights through a Ravage, but they can't do anything without the Shadow Fiend. Literally nothing can be done. Whereas Mineski, they're going to be spreading all around the map, and they're going to be getting a lot of farm. We have a Sheep Stick from the Razor. I actually like this item quite a bit. Like, you know that you only have one hero that's threatening you. You might as well hex him.
Yeah, I think it's absolutely brilliant as well, and it's not like they're lacking for damage really, Mineski, that is. Especially now that Johnny, he did go for the Radiance, 45 minutes in. Hallelujah. Still gonna help out, just pop the Haunt, make sure that nobody can blink even for some time after the Haunt ends. Of course, they have the Global Silence with the Curse of the Silent Aghanim Scepter anyway. But it's double Global Silence, double Ravage, the Sheepstick on Razor. I just... First Departure, of course, they're not out yet since Mineski. They definitely showed us their capabilities of throwing a team fight. So, who's to say it's not gonna happen again? Although, I still think Mineski, they should have this game in the bag.
Yeah, assuming they don't completely screw up. And, well, Mineski are in that situation where they might be in trouble of doing that. So it's going to be Roshan, the biggest objective for First Departure to take, like even bigger than Rax's. If they take an Aegis, they'll be able to take team fights following that. And the Shadow Fiend can solo it, although with Mineski's ways of getting vision into the Rosh Pit, it will be unlikely that he's going to want to go for that one. Shadow Fiend is pretty much 6-slotted. He could probably get rid of the Shadow Blade and pick up something that hurts a little bit more. I wouldn't mind seeing something like an Eye of Scotty for a little bit of mixed utility there, but I don't know. The Shadow Fiend's not going to get any stronger, and it looks like First Departure aren't actually making a move to the Roshan pit. If they go towards top and show everyone there, then I'm pretty sure Mineski are just going to go in and secure Rosh.
It should be pretty easy for them to secure it if they go for it. They have some decent vision of at least the topside river at the moment. I think they saw Dafa at the very least, if nobody else. And Dafa, the Magnus, he's going for the Refresher Orb slowly but surely. He only has the Ring of Health so far, and of course definitely wants to save for buyback, as should everybody. It's already this late into the game, and Roshan, it has been started. Johnny, he's gonna come in as well. Do they have the minus armor? Yes, they have the Vengeance, the Wave of Terror already there. All 5 heroes present. Who's even gonna pick up the Aegis? Is it Johnny?
It should probably be Johnny. He has an item slot ready, and this is where Vengeful Spirit is like, damn, I wish I had some way to reduce armor or amplify damage. That would be certainly very useful, but Roshan is going to be cleared. As First Departure, you can't really afford to fight into a Roshan pit like that. You could sneak it for sure, but when you're dealing with double Ravage in a Roshan pit, that's the worst place to fight. So they're going to make the responsible decision and give up the double life, but I don't know if they could actually recover after this. They are going to smoke up First Departure and try to look for something. I don't think they're going to find anything. They have 2 gems, actually. I didn't realize that before, but they're not going to find anyone as First Departure. They're playing full-on defense. Miracle, he has buyback, I believe, even if he dies, although I think it's going to be close. He just needs a little bit more, and I don't know. First Departure, they're just kind of completely stalled out right now, and the Refresher Orb is just so far away, so it's not even like they're waiting for that. Mineski, they're going to potentially look for a jump in. There is a Blink Dagger on the Vengeful Spirit, although no angles, so I don't know. This game is just so freaking weird, man.
It most certainly is. I think Vengeful would have gone for the jump as well, but he already used the Wave of Terror for something else before, so couldn't really get the vision onto Magnus in time. And look at First Departure. Miracle at the very least. He's going straight towards the mid lane. Their really best chance is probably try to go for a fight in the base of Mineski, hope that they don't have buybacks, win a fight somehow, and go for straight Ancient.
Yeah, that sounds realistic.
It's gonna happen, man. It's gonna happen.
Yeah, you could hope that the enemy doesn't have buybacks, but if we do take an actual look at the buyback status, really the only person who matters on buyback for Mineski is the Spectre. I guess Silencer matters as well, and he doesn't quite have it. In fact, he just completed his Refresher Orb. I think that's an item that's worth not having buyback for, so Mineski, they're slowly but surely getting their big items up, and First Departure, they're not making any moves in. Mid-Raxes, it's still kind of relevant, although, let's be honest, it's not going to be winning any games. They need to take Megas if they want to win this. Even 2 sets of Raxes, First Departure, if they take that, I still think they don't have the game yet.
Probably not. Just, of course, First Departure, if only they had slightly better rat heroes, they could just delay it out and go for the racks or buildings slowly. Just because Mineski, yes, they have superior teamfight by far, but they don't have the best jump onto heroes. So, if only First Departure can rat this out somehow, if only the Shadow Fiend was an Anga Siren.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I believe this was the game that First Departure banned that out themselves, so Shadow Fiend is going to be unable to do that backdooring. I mean, he could probably take the range Raxes through backdoor protection, but I don't know. I mean, the Shadow Blade is certainly a useful rat item, but he's not actually doing that much damage to towers. Satanic and BKB being dead items versus towers, obviously, so we're just in a stalled out game state, and this is going to heavily benefit Mineski. Their Spectre still has quite a long way to grow. He has Heart almost completed if he wants to buy out for it, although saving for buyback going to be preferred. Has a Radiance to sell, I guess, although he just picked it up. The Spectre is still far away from being 6-slotted. The Razor is far away from being 6-slotted as well, and at a certain point, your Silencer is also going to be hitting very hard. It's stolen an absurd amount of intelligence, plus 36 is pretty damn high. Mineski, they're growing, and First Departure, they are stalled out completely. The longer this game goes, the less likely it is for Mineski to lose this game.
The Silencer is already hitting pretty hard. He's hitting for about, I think, 100 or close enough to 100 extra damage as pure. So he's hitting for 260, or a little bit more. Never mind, 300 damage. 100 of it will be pure. So they are looking good on all fronts, to be honest. Really, the Vengeful, his items are the only ones that aren't progressing at all. But even for that, he has quite enough for his support, I think. So this game, Mineski. But how do they go about it? So far, they really haven't been able to surpass the tier 2 as far as just map control or how far their heroes have been. How do they make it so that they can actually take a team fight and go for the tier 3, break high ground and just win the game?
They could just, honestly, a move down a lane right now. Like, Johnny's powerful enough to handle most of First Departure's heroes, and assuming Tidehunter lands a decent Ravage, like one decent Ravage, then Mineski are going to be able to easily take all the objectives. Like, they have a double Global Silence backup, and forcing the hand of First Departure is something that Mineski can do. They don't have to, obviously, as they have a lot of heroes that are actively growing, and First Departure don't, but I mean, I guess there's no reason to just sit around and do nothing when you could go ahead and do something. They're going to push down bottom lane and give First Departure an opportunity to start a fight, but they're going to back off. Oh man, this game is, I think we're in here for the long haul.
It might be so. At the very least, Shadow Fiend, he has 5k gold, so even if he sells his Shadow Blade, he's still gonna have almost enough money for a buyback plus the 6 slot item. Oh god. Miracle, he's still so farmed, but everybody else is catching up, and Miracle really doesn't have too much growing space. I guess if they really felt like it, they could go for just straight off Rapier. So far, purchases Boots of Travels. I guess Rat Dota is still on their minds, but he is hitting already pretty hard even without the Rapier. He's hitting for 500 damage almost.
Yeah, he was critting for 1,000 before. I don't think he's gotten any items since I last saw that 1,000 crit, but there aren't many heroes that could crit for 1,000, and usually it's PA. Very rarely is it a Shadow Fiend or anyone without an inherent crit skill.
So at the moment, Miracle is still definitely scary. If he can pop his BKB in time, of course, that's one of the most major concerns for them. Since the last 2 times he's died, he's just gotten stunned off before he gets the Ravage. Or before he gets the BKB rather. But he is still a huge threat, and do you think he even needs to go for a Rapier, or can he just wait it out?
No, he can't afford to just get no more items. The Rapier in this game, like, they don't really... If like I was in First Departure shoes, I wouldn't feel like I need a Rapier. But they need a Rapier, because if Miracle is not growing with his items, then First Departure, they're going to be losing this game. And the only way to grow from here on out is to get rid of the Shadow Blade and pick up something else. Like, an Assault Cuirass would be pretty good, but I think a Rapier is just the way to go. And it's a risky item for sure, but hell, they have no better alternative. It's Rapier or bust, I think.
It might come down to that really as well. Oh, they're gonna get the jump onto lobby. They're gonna get the stun as well. Centaur not gonna be able to escape. He didn't purchase the BKB, so he still has enough for buyback, but this Centaur, it's a little bit sad. Johnny just TPs to the top side, meta style. Gonna counter push it out. Radiance definitely helps with that. And of course, he's gonna be able to join the fight anyway with Haunt. And that's one of the good things about Spectre, just because he can always keep one lane pushed out.
And the rest of First Departure, they don't have their Centaur, which means that they pretty much don't have their Stampede, as that is pretty much all Centaur is right now. They're going to lay a little bit of fire down on bottom lane just to mess with the creeps a little bit, killing most of them off. Mineski, they're not going to breach the high ground just yet. No Aghanims on the Razor, so their pushing power actually isn't that strong, but they definitely have the fighting power to back this up. And with First Departure camping out on the top lane, I guess if they get a jump on Johnny, they can take a fight, but they're not going to kill off this Spectre unless they use a RP, and they really don't want to do that. Mineski now are going to start breaching high ground. There's the lasso onto the Razor. Tidehunter's going to think about jumping in. The snap on the lasso is going to happen now. Miracle, once again, without the BKB used, he's going to focus down. Now popping the BKB, he's going to dodge in a Ravage. He's going to try to man fight versus the Razor. He's going to win that man fight with the Satanic, but now he's going to be forced to run. He's going to get chased down, and that's going to be him down. He's going to have to buy back if he wants to hold this. And the rest of his team is going to be chopped apart by Johnny. It's a triple kill for the Spectre, now gripped up within the range of the tier 4. So he's going to be chain stunned and brought down, but he has a buyback. He does not have Haunt. Now here comes Miracle once again into this fight along with Luca. Bought back both, and now Jesse Vash, there's nothing to interrupt this. No, an RP being used, and that's going to be the death of the Silencer. That's 3 down for Mineski. First Departure lose a couple heroes here and there. They could push in and force buybacks, but they can't get any objectives off of this. Maybe they can get Roshan, actually.
So it was a 3 for 3. All of the 3 heroes from First Departure, they bought back, and in the end, the gold and the XP change was almost identical, even with the buybacks. But Mineski now, they're gonna have to buy back of their own for sure, and I'm not too sure why Tidehunter hesitated that long for the second Ravage. If they had just gotten the second Ravage off immediately and killed off Miracle before he gets the Satanic, before he actually has a chance to man fight back, this fight could have gone just so different. But Spectre buys back already. It's going to be range tracks down, and oh, Kai, he gets a jump onto Johnny. Will the right clicks be enough from Miracle? If they are, this might be game if they kill Johnny. Oh my freaking god. It's a dieback Razor. He can't do anything at all but run away from Miracle. Can they go for Ancient now? Two heroes are down. No buyback on either of them. Holy freaking crap. Our first departure doing this.
They can't go for the Ancient. That's just too slow. They can go for a second set of Raxes, and they're going to slide up to the top lane. They will be in the base before Spectre is up. Like, this is 90 seconds where the Spectre is down, and they'll be able to clear out these creep waves pretty quickly and make this happen. They have no real split push to deal with. However, both the Batrider and the Centaur both are not with this top lane push, and I think this is a crucial mistake. They don't have travels or anything like that, so they can't rejoin this fight. So first departure, they could have fought this, I think. I mean, Shadow Fiend, his largest opposition is going to be that Spectre, and knowing that Spectre is down, they're instead going to settle for the Aegis, it looks like. This is just such a wasted opportunity. I think this could have been first departure taking a full set of Raxes, and then probably an Aegis following, but they're going to instead buy up an Eye of Scotty, I think, on the Shadow Fiend. Yeah, it's a pretty good item, but I think Assault Crest would have been better. This is going to be Roshan. Aegis Cheese going to be picked up by the Shadow Fiend, or by the first departure heroes. But by the time they could actually use these items, the Spectre is going to be up again. So they wasted a large opportunity in this game.
Oh wow, this game. I actually thought they're going to get way more out of this as well. Of course, Cheese and Aegis definitely going to be nice. Aegis up on Miracle as well. He pops down the Boots of Travels. Dafa is going to carry them for him, or no? Nobody's going to carry them. Somebody picked them up, I think. Yeah, never mind. It's going to be KS on the Bane. So, Miracle, he's running around bootsless. Just right-clicking away. But if he actually gets the time to right-click, he demolishes everybody in Mineski. Mineski's right-click isn't half as strong as that of Miracle.
Yeah, and really, right now, the most thing I'm concerned about for first departure is not using this Aegis. Like, I think that's actually something that might happen. They might just stall out and be a little bit too cautious and end up timing out with this Aegis. And, I mean, you decide to pick up Aegis instead of going for the second set of Raxes. If you don't use it, you're going to be wasting a hell of a large opportunity there. And that might even be an opportunity to get back into this game, if not even pull ahead. So, first departure, they have to make something happen. And knowing that the enemy team has double Ravage, double Global Silence is obviously hard to pull that trigger. But if they don't, then they're just digging their own grave. Like, this is play to win Dota, and the only way you actually win is by making a play right now. So, is it going to be top lane? Is it going to be bottom lane? It looks like that's actually VS drawing on the map. So, I don't know what it's going to be just yet for first departure, but I mean, Miracle doesn't have travels, so you obviously can't play the going around everywhere and farming game. You have to play the I'm just going to walk up a lane and try to win game. Oh, Haste Rune. Boots of Travel's not needed. There we go.
To be honest, one big thing as well, why they missed their opportunity to just go for a second set of racks or something, is that there would have been double ultimates for Mineski. That's like the biggest thing they have to be worried of. Of course, now Miracle, he can just go into the front lines, tank up all of the ultimates with his first life, then come back and wreck everybody. And Mineski, they really need to actually have lockdown onto the Shadow Fiend, because otherwise his lifesteal, his right click damage, it's just too much for them. But oh, look at this Mineski, they're smoked up as well. They have their double ultimates. Can they get the jump on the first departure? Although if they lose the fight, it's going to be horrible. They're going to get the swap onto Miracle. Where's the Hex? There it comes. But the Stampede, he's back to safety. Ravage, it's pretty good, but reverse polarity connected on before JC was thrown up on the high ground. There's Global Silence number 1. It's a party on the hill. Are you kidding me? There are 3 heroes there. They're going to get Dafa down. Miracle will lose his first life. Can he come back though and clean up? I don't think so, Mineski. All of them are still alive. KS will also lose his life on the Bane. Miracle trying to chase people down, but he just doesn't have the boots to follow up. He has the Eye of Scotty. Gonna get Fu at the very least, but he's gonna get surrounded by so many heroes now. Stunned up as well before he gets his Requiem of Souls off. No buyback. The only one to have buyback is Lobby on the Centaur, and finally Mineski. They took a fight, decisive one, and probably this will be game.
That was even with a pretty nice double RP from the Mag, but Shadow Fiend unfortunately can only focus one guy at a time, and it just simply was not enough. The double Global Silence from the Silencer destroyed the momentum of first departure, and the double Ravages also came out. The first Ravage was pretty good, especially since it landed right after the RP, so I mean, RP stun into a Ravage stun means that everyone's pretty much going to be nullified. And now first departure, they only have Centaur. They have a minute before the Shadow Fiend is up, and he has no buyback for another minute 30, so I think Mineski, they are going to take at the very least a set of Raxes here. Probably two. Yeah, probably two and then back off for them. But first departure, they lose the fight very easily or very handily. They have cheese still on the Shadow Fiend, but that's not really a game-winning item. So they don't even have any split pushing or anything going on like that. So Mineski, they have a free pass right now.
Well, they have 37 seconds left more. They should have enough damage, at least in theory, to take all the racks. Although 3 heroes, or actually 4 heroes, will be alive in 5 seconds time. Not scary heroes though. So, is this even... This might not even be mega creeps to Shadow Fiend. Only 20 seconds on the sidelines. Mineski, they won't have the double ultimates. They won't even have a single ultimate, but they're gonna get the Hex onto lobby. Swap back as well. Oh god, just poor Centaur. He got taken care of so fast.
Now he's going to buy back. He still has a Stampede, and they don't actually take a single set. That's actually really freaking surprising. Batrider's going to chase forward with now the Stampede active. He has a BKB up as well, but he can't find anyone. He's not going to get the lasso off. That's a BKB down 8 seconds from the Batrider being spent, plus the Stampede. But first departure, they don't lose any Raxes. They lose 2 tier 3 towers, actually, as bottom lane is also pushing. But it could have been a lot worse. They stalled out pretty well. Like, the Centaur kind of acting like bait, trading his buyback for Raxes. I don't know if that's worth it, but let's be honest, Centaur can't really get much done anyway, so trading him for anything is a pretty good deal.
It definitely is, to be honest. Just those extra couple of seconds might have been enough to save the melee Rax. So first departure, they still hold the Rax advantage, and they're not out of the game by any means. The last fight, they were the ones getting chumped completely. Mineski, they got off a pretty just nice set of ultimates. But if first departure can maybe get their own initiation with the Batrider, just drag maybe for example the silencer out of position, so no global silences will come out at all. It just might be game breaking. Silencer, I don't think he has buyback. He does not. So first departure with the smoke. If they get a favorable fight, it might be just, oh my god. I can't even believe still that Mineski, they are on the back foot as far as this map control is concerned.
I can't believe they haven't just won the game by now, honestly. They're going to jump in with Aluka, try to grab the Razor. Miracle's going to teleport in with the BKB. Ravage is going to be held this time. Thank God for that. Miracle, though, is going to waste most of the BKB, and now he's without much of a team. Dapa's going to run interference, looking for a skewer. The Ravage's #1 is going to come out and pop Miracle. This is going to be the death of the Shadow Fiend. The rest of First Departure can do absolutely nothing but watch. Dapa's also going to be focused, trying to skewer away. He's not going to get out, and KS is going to get hit with the second Ravage. He's going to go down as well. Now Lubby going to get haunted upon. Swap back from the Vengeful Spirit. This VS, I swear to God, is trolling. Like, you don't play like this. Lubby is going to escape. No, he's going to get bursted down. Holy crap, that damage. Yeah, this has got to be game. First departure, they have a buyback on Miracle, but that's it. I guess this Vengeful Spirit build, it works. 100% success rate with this build.
I guess it is indeed. So that's going to be one set of racks. Miracle, he's holding on to his buyback just because alone he probably can't do enough. And I really like how Fu finally, throughout the 64 minutes, he's learned to control his Ravages on the Tidehunter. Those two, first one hit 3 heroes, I think second one hit 2 or 3, but by that time at least 2 heroes were dead anyway. So well done for all of them. Aluka gonna pop his BKB, gonna escape, or nope, the swap comes out, Vengeful. With the Agony Scepter as well to buff it up. They're gonna get yet another kill, and this really must be GG. Mineski, man, just well fought. First departure, they fought with all they had, but in the end, just solo core, Shadow Fiend, not enough.
Yeah, I mean, this Tidehunter, this actually goes to show that Tidehunter is actually a pretty easy hero. Like, we know that Fu has been playing this hero for at least 64 minutes, and look how much he's improved. Like, he's been going from 0 people Ravages to, like, 2 people Ravages. That's a huge improvement for this Tidehunter, and such an easy hero to play. They're going to win the game, and now that means first departure. I think they were technically the favorites. They're out of the tournament. They're going to mount some sort of defense. Miracle is going to try to man fight, but his Requiem isn't even going to go off. That's it. They're out, and Mineski are going to the finals where they're going to be up with Malaysia.
Oh, it should be such a great game as well, and it's going to be the last game. Of course, Team Malaysia, they have that 1 game advantage coming into the best of 3 for the grand final. So if they win the first game, it's all over for Mineski. But Mineski, maybe they can actually make their dream come true and win in the grand final up against Team Malaysia. But guys, we're going to find out in about, I think, 20 to 30 minutes time. So thanks for tuning in so far, supporting us, HeflaTV, as well as the Thailand Championship, of course. Hopefully, the Southeast Asian scene will see more tournaments like this in the future as well. But if you liked what we did, be sure to follow us on this channel, as well as HeflaTV too, and follow us on our social media to know when we're going live with other games. And All the necessary links will be below the stream. If you like the casters, add Coucher for me on both Twitch, Twitter, everywhere. At Mike Lores for my co-caster. And just see you for the grand final in about 20 to 30 minutes time.